and welcome back. Thanks for coming back. Today, where are we? Well, we're in the village of Kathikas. We're right in the centre on the cobblestones that have all been provided courtesy of the EU money. So it's an EU grant in simple words. And it looks very, very nice. But in the winter time, when it's had a bit of rain or a bit of dew on it, if you're coming through, you need to be, well, that little bit extra careful because it's that little bit slippy. Now, where are we going? That's what you want to know. So we're going to go from the village of Kathikas and we're going to head down towards Paphos. So stick with it, kick off the shoes, get the coffee out, get the cornflakes out, Miss Dawn, Mr. Sean. And guess what? Are they there? Are they sitting there having their breakfast? I wonder. Miss Anne, Mr. Roger. Oh, and we can't forget Daisy the cat as well. Daisy the Cypriot cat. Kalimera, Daisy, Kalimera. Or depending on what time of day that you're watching, you never know. It could be, wait for it, is it Buenas noches? No, that's Spanish. So what is it in the local lingo? Kalispera. No, I think that's good night. Anyway, that's the limits of my Greek. Let's get on with the video. Without further ado, here we go. So, this is the road that joins the Kathikas road down to the main Paphos to Polis highway, or Polis to Paphos, whichever way you might be coming from. And as you can see, it's a beautiful, beautiful morning. And if you're curious to know, Dawn, what's the temperature? Well, it's very, very cold this morning. 8:30 in the morning, and it's 16 degrees. So, well, get your woolly socks on. That's what I would say. And I don't think that Miss Daisy, if she was here, would want to go out. Oh no, she'd be going all Cypriot on us and getting a furry coat on and a woolly hat and big furry boots because it's a little bit cold. Anyway, stick with us. Here we go. Nice little trek. Going to take us about 15 minutes or so, and then we're going to enter. We're going to enter. She's speaking my English even when she's not with me. We're going to enter uptown Paphos, which will be the Masoi area. We'll drop down towards the Limassol roundabout, and that's where today's video is going to end. So it's going to be a pleasant little drive, and hopefully the traffic will be light. But probably we'll hit the rush hour when we get to Paphos, and then you're going to get an idea of just how chaotic the driving can be, because there'll be a lot of people fiddling around with mobile phones, a lot of people smoking and drinking frappes, and on top of all of that, they'll be trying to get their flip-flops on. Well, their woolly boots, because it's that little bit chilly today. But it's a beautiful, beautiful day. It really, really is. Big shout out to some of our superstars, by the way. The one and only JJ Tonic. That's Miss Justine. Every single night, Justine, you crack me up, that's for sure. It doesn't matter where my thoughts may be. Maybe I'm feeling a bit sad. I think everyone understands now what's going on, but we're not going to talk about that anymore. We're going to grab the new year by the horns and go kicking into 2023 and see just how good we can make, or just how bad we can make these YouTube videos. Exactly, Justine, just how bad we can make them. But big hello to Michael Barry number 1, Mr. Andy. I'm pretty sure he's wiggling his rear end in his nice blue BMW as he batters around the Shropshire lanes looking for Aston Martins to race, because we all know that most Aston Martin drivers hopefully none are subscribed. If they are, they're about to unsubscribe, because we all know that they've probably got small, what can we say, never mind, right, let's keep going. Here we are. This is the intersection that joins Kathikas to the main Paphos to Polis highway, and spectacular views, as you can see. Truly, truly spectacular. It takes my breath away, that's for sure. The sun is glistening up in that, well, I'm going to say it's blue. It's a light shade of blue. There's a little bit of greyness up in there, and then when I look over to my left towards the Troodos Mountains, there are one or two clouds out yonder, sort of coming into focus now. But look at that for a view. It's the kind of view that takes your breath away. It really, really is. Cyprus is a beautiful place. I have a whinge about the locals, but wherever you are in the world, you're always going to have a whinge about the locals. I'm Welsh. I come from Wales. And if you want to know about troublesome locals, well, pop over to Wales and then you're going to know. As my two Gumbarus, the boys known as Double Trouble, Mr. Simon, Mr. Jeremy, well, sorry, not anymore. The honours list has been announced, and of course some of you will be aware that after a this is my English again, really started my English, a consultation with Her Majesty Dame Anne, I have come to, well, the right decision. And arise, Sir Simon, arise, Sir Jeremy, the two latest knighthoods to have been given out on the Marika and Me channel. And to be honest, they should have been given knighthoods a long time ago. There's also been another promotion. Sir Richie has become Lord Richie, and there's another star, and he's a man that's often neglected. He's always referred to as our number one, but I've decided that our number one is just not good enough anymore. So he's going to have a unique title, and he's going to be known from now on as Viscount Paul Butler. I think that's a nice title. I know in the hierarchy of titles it's not the highest title, but I do think it's a nice title, and he will be the only Viscount ever on Marika and Me, because he is the one and only Paul Butler, our number one. He's the guy that always has been there for us right from the very start, right from when we walked to the Coral Bay Strip. So, Viscount Paul Butler, we wish you a fabulous week in downtown Manchester, and we hope that the weather is not treating you too bad, and we hope that we can be back home with Miss Bev very soon. Now, where are we? Stroumbi, that's where we are. We're in Stroumbi. Miss Maggie, you say you got friends living in Stroumbi? Sorry, the people you bought your apartment off moved to live in Stroumbi, if I remember correctly. This is where they came to, and this is the main highway that goes straight down the middle of it and cuts it in half. So you've got the older part on our left. I mean, obviously some new villas been built in there as well, and then you've got the new part, New Stroumbi, Pano Stroumbi, I think. No, not Pano, Cato Stroumbi is on our left hand side. No, right hand side. There you are. Never know my left from my right because I'm an idiot. So here we go, uptown Stroumbi, and we're going to drop down now. As you can see, there's a bit of traffic on the road. There's a bit of concrete getting delivered up there. Someone's obviously having some footings or a new villa built. So coming up on our right hand side, I believe it's closed, but this is the main entrance into the square, by the way, just where that pickups come out. But that is the former Hellenic Bank on our right hand side, and then this was the former police station, which I don't know what it's going to be now. Yep, it is still going to be a police station. I've just noticed the Police Gumbaru sign, so that's their brand new police station. It does look very posh indeed. You never know, one of these days they may drag us in there and sit us down and give us a frappe, put us in a cell, beat us badly. If I was them, I really would beat us very badly indeed, because for some of the crimes against videography and the Paphos Harbour and all the people we've accosted, we probably should be shot. Many people agreeing with me now, I'm pretty sure of that. So, where are we now? Well, we're just about to exit the village of Stroumbi. If you'd go left here, by the way, you would go out towards Polemi, and if you kept on going, you'd go towards Pania, which is where the great man himself from 1968 to 1974, I think it was, he was the president of Cyprus, Archbishop Makarios. That's where he was born. That was his village. So there's a lot of pilgrimages apparently that go up there to see where he lived and the church that where he started out. So a bit of useless trivia. There we go. Well, it's not useless trivia, but a little bit of trivia to show you that Paul, I'm not going to say I'm educated, semi-educated, as my father used to say. He used to say, I've spent an absolute fortune on school fees for you, and all I've got is an idiot. Yep, that's me. There we are. So I like this bit of road, by the way. We wiggle and waggle a little bit here, and the sun plays games with us. Now it's going to come back into focus and take your breath away. There we are. Like I said, the time again just after 8:30. So that's what we get on a cold, chilly morning in downtown Paphos district on the island of Love, Cyprus. What time of year are we? Second week of Jan. Yep, second week of Jan. As I've told you, Dawn, the temperature at the moment, because in this little wiggle valley here, it really does go cold, and it says on the car, believe it or not, that it is 9 degrees. It's an ice age. Oh my god. Good job I put a little jacket on. It's like an ice age in Cyprus. But don't worry, when we come out the other side, we're going to go up to Tasada first now. So that's pretty much the highest point in the Paphos area, around about 2,000 meters above sea level. And the temperature there will probably be about the same. But of course, as we drop down towards paradise, the temperature will increase. And I would think when we get to the Limassol roundabout, it's going to be probably around about 16 degrees. And they have forecast the day high at around about 18 today. So Miss Andrea, if you're watching, I am desperately trying to hang on to the great weather for you. Can't promise that it will still be here in February, but we're going to do our very best and hang on to it by its shirt tails and drag it back, especially for you, because you are my #1 price checker. And again, you don't half make me laugh. I know you say that I make you laugh, but you make me laugh as well. You and Mart, 2 superstars amongst superstars, my folks over in Norfolk, and we all like a little bit of turkey, that's for sure. Anyway, rapidly climbing up to the peak, which will be Tasada, and then we will rapidly drop down. If you remember, there was a video about a week ago now that took us on that descent all the way down to Paphos, and I think it's a spectacular view as we drop down. And I think today's view will be even better than that view, because the sun, of course, is much higher in the sky in the morning, and hopefully it's going to be behind us, so you're going to get to look out across Paphos, mid-Paphos and Cape Paphos, and out beyond to the blue Mediterranean Sea. This is the kindness of some of the cement guys here. They pull over to let people go around them because they understand that they're going to crawl up the road here. So we often complain about the driving in Cyprus, but some of the things they do are a sign of respect. So the lorry drivers, especially on this stretch of the road, always pull over when they spot 4 or 5 cars behind them, and they always let us go. So there we go. Let's enjoy this last bit of a wiggle and a waggle before we start our descent. Now, to give you a little bit more information about the area, if we were to go a left just up here, you would go to a little brewery place, and it's a micro brewery run by an English family, and they turned them into a pizza restaurant as well. So if you were looking for a special place to go, this is the sign here, Aphrodite's Rock, top rated attraction in Cyprus, by the way, and it's on TripAdvisor and all those kind of things. So if you were to take a left right there, and in around about 100 meters, it's there. So you can go there and sample their beer and all that kind of thing, and then on top of that you can sit down and have a rather nice pizza, because apparently their pizzas are quite simply to die for. Look at that view. That sun is glistening now. It's starting to cook away the clouds, and the blueness is rapidly appearing to that sky, and you're going to get a great view. So don't click off, stick with us for that little bit longer. And as we drop down the other side, Paul Roberts, you're going to get a great view, that's for sure. Now, I haven't forgotten you, Alan, but I just thought it was that little bit too cold for you to get onto the treadmill. But as we go over the side, I've checked over my shoulder, and yes, I can see that little twinkle in your eye. Flick the machine on, because as we go over the crest and we start to descend, you're going to get a great little walk, and then you can break out into a sprint for that final crescendo as we drop down towards the Limassol roundabout. So here we are. This is technically Tasada. If you were to take a left there, you'd go out towards Tasada and Calepia, the Timbo. You could go to the Memphis Hill Luxury Hotel and Spa, have a nice round of golf, and on the way out, you could perhaps buy yourself one of those multi-million euro villas, chump change at the end of the day. Now, that view that I promised you is rapidly approaching the camera lens, so stick with us. It's going to be a view quite simply to die for, and it's going to be a view that takes your breath away. And as you can see, again, the sun is hiding, then it comes back out to play, then it goes to hide. A nice little game of hide and seek on our descent down to the wonderful place known as Paphos. And it's a great place, by the way, whether you're coming for a weekend, a week, a fortnight, or perhaps even the rest of your life. Feast your eyes and digest. Here it comes. Now, the area to our left up on this mountainside is known as Olympic Villas and Vikla Villas. So if you want to go and buy a fancy villa with a great view down across Paphos and out across the blue Mediterranean Sea, get yourself a bit of chump change and you will be all right. If you haven't got chump change and you've only got pocket change, well, you go a bit further up to Vikla Villas and you get a nice apartment or a nice townhouse, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom for that little bit less. Well, quite a lot less, that's for sure. So this is the main entrance and escapeway up to Olympic Villas and Vikla Villas, and it's on our left there. There's the big sign, Leptos Estates Developments. So this is the final drag now down to the area known as Masoi, and at the traffic lights at the bottom, if you were to go to the left, you would go into Mesahoyo, if that's how you pronounce it, and if you were to go right at the traffic lights, you would go into Tremathusa, and if you continue through Tremathusa, you would then go up towards the area known as Tala. So there you go, Mr. Doug, if you're watching, that's how you get to Tala. So as we go around this next little bend, the sun again playing hide and seek, but you're going to get a great view, I promise you that. So stick with us. You've got another 5 to 7 minutes of Mr. Paul's madness, but you're going to get great views and you're going to learn a little bit about downtown Paphos as we trek through. It appears that the traffic is that little bit light, but I'm pretty sure it's going to get that little bit busier because we are approaching that magic time when government offices like to open, so all their staff have to get there. Although in Cyprus they don't have to get there on time. Normally they arrive 10, 15, 20 minutes later, but in fact sometimes they don't even turn up at all. There we are. Little in joke on the island of Cyprus. If you're a local, you'll understand what I'm talking about. You can often go to a government office and there's a little sign that says back in 10 minutes, which means back in a week, or perhaps closed for Christmas, and it means, well, they'll open when they think about it. So, petrol station on the right hand side, and then this is the traffic lights coming up as I was telling you about. If you go left, Mesasoyo, or however you say it, and if you go right, Tremathusa, and then on to Tala. So as you can see, it's a beautiful view straight down, and you can see it, Pano Paphos, Mid Paphos, Kato Paphos, and out into the blue Mediterranean Sea. Spectacular place, and it's a spectacular time of year, to be honest. A lot of people don't come to Paphos at this time of year for the holidays, obviously, because they're looking for that magic sun and suntan in the peak times, but it's a great time of year, and of course it's not quite so busy, so you can wander around and digest the views and the restaurants without being packed out, and there are a lot open. Don't be thinking that the whole of Paphos closes down, because of course Paphos is a holiday resort and it is a working town as well, so it's got a sitting population, so therefore a lot of the restaurants, even in the harbour area and the promenade area, are still open, because of course that's where the locals like to go. And if your name is Mr. Shane, Miss Beverly, of course our cocktail samplers, they live here and they come down to the harbour area pretty much every weekend and sample the drinkings and the delightings of the food and the cuisine and that kind of stuff. And you never know, we might accost them again and make a special cocktail for one of our special superstars. So this is Masoi Drag, as we're going to call it. D&M Vetch, you've heard me mention them before. They're there. You've got Premier Chemical Supplies on our left. Not much interest to you, obviously, but it is there. And you've got a furniture place there. It's the Steptoes Outlet. If you want to buy some end-of-line furniture, you've got the Red Furniture Shop, but you need to cut the bob if you're going to go in there. You've got a Drusi Electris. can't say it, Drusiostis electrical retailer, but it's for cars, so stereos and sat navs and all those sorts of things. Got Sports Direct if you want a nice pair of blue sports shoes, and then you've got Unicars, which is the Audi, Seat and Volkswagen franchise. Onyx if you've got a couple of bob and you want a Porsche or a Maserati. If you want a brand new BMW, you've got Paphos. He also dibbles and dabbles in Nissan and Mitsubishi and Renault as well. There's a lot going on this road, as you can see. They're all what we call superstores. Well, superstores we call in Cyprus anyway. You can get at least 20 to 30 people in these stores. Pan Motors coming up, another luxury second-hand car dealer. Pop Life Supermarkets, that's there. Another electrical shop. A Plant Fix, if you want some chemicals, that kind of thing, to make your garden grow. That's where you'd go. Sotus Outside Furniture, a bit out of season at the moment, but of course that season's going to come. Petrol stations, you've got a out-of-town outlet shoe shop. As you can see, there's a lot going on. Renault dealer, that's Paphos again, the same guys that operate BMW. Second-hand car dealers, all sorts. There's just too much to mention. A nice little fruit market there as well. Now, at the traffic lights that are coming up, we can either go left, which would take us out towards a little roundabout which is shooting water everywhere, known as the Anavargus roundabout, or we would go right, which would take us out towards Ember, and then of course out towards Tala, if you wiggle and waggle a little bit. And if you go straight over, you're going to drop down straight through the centre of Paphos, which is a road from hell. Now, anyone who's curious, the man in the car in front, that's my brother. So I'm at his mercy and I'm following him. And he's been a wise man and he's going to take us straight through hell. So perhaps he's not quite so wise. But he's understanding that perhaps that will add more content to the video and that people are going to enjoy it. Because, well, there's a bit of hell coming up. There's a bit of big diggering going on, as Marika would say. And if you're wondering about Marika, she's holding up really, really well. And she's starting to smile. Even her mum is starting to smile, because we understand as time goes on, the pain starts to heal. And, of course, life has to go on. And she's looking forward to coming back. And, of course, dancing the chuchuchka down the promenade and walking on the walls and all that kind of stuff. Hugging and kissing people. And, well, generally monkeying around. And, of course, on top of all of that, she will look more beautiful than ever. And that, if you've not seen her before, if you're new to the channel, that is my beautiful, beautiful wife-to-be, my Armenian chuchuchka dancing beauty. And her name is Miss Ochin Grasilia Labuf, which means very beautiful love. And she'll be back, returning to our screens very, very soon indeed. Here we go. As soon as the lights go to green, you always get a toot toot from the man behind you, just in case you've not noticed. Because, of course, a lot of people haven't. They're often adjusting their flip-flops, looking for a cigarette or that kind of thing. Anyway, here we are. Coming up on the right-hand side, that's a Lidl. And then coming up on the left-hand side, as you can see, is an MOT centre. And that's the chap that I use. He's the strictest in the whole of the Paphos district, which I know sounds stupid, but of course it's not. The idea is to try and have the most roadworthy-ish car that you can. It's not good to hear that your shocks want replacing, but of course, you know, it's got to be done, shall we say. Coming up on the side now is the former Carrefour supermarket, and until the day I die, that's what it's going to be called. A big, big supermarket. It's actually like a superstore, to be honest. Anything you want, from baked beans to a pair of sports shoes, you pop in there. This road's quite new. And then this road, well, it starts to get up to be a road from hell, as you can see. When it's finished, I've no doubt it's going to be a huge improvement, and they're going to prevent you from parking on the pavements, which is a shame, because, you know, in Cyprus we do like to use the pavement for parking, because, you know, what else are you going to use them for? People don't tend to walk on them, and they tend to make them 6 feet wide. So what better place to park your Mercedes S-Class than on that pavement? But as you can see, there's a lot of big diggering going on, and it's been going on now for more than a year. How these businesses have survived is, well, beyond anyone's guess, shall we say. They promised this road would be open before Christmas. But, well, as you can see, rapidly approaching the middle of January, and I would anticipate, subject to weather, of course, because the weather's not gone bad yet, and sometimes in January and February it does, but subject to weather, I would say that this road probably will not even be open by the summer. But hopefully it is. So there's various businesses around here, by the way. You've got Coffee Lab if you do want to get a coffee, if you're that desperate and you want to break your ankles on the way in there. You've got a butchery on the side there, Collier's Butchery. They're also a wine merchant as well. And as you come down here, as you can see, a lot of the businesses are closed up and gone. But a lot of them, of course, own the properties that they're in, so they can't go. But as a consolation, the great man, the man who likes to park his black Mercedes on double yellow lines and on chevrons outside his office across to a school, because of course he's allowed, because he is the number one, he is the mayor. But anyway, in his great wisdom, he has, allowed all of these businesses not to pay their rates and their community charges for the foreseeable future. What a star, an absolute star. So they are about 300 to 400 euros a year better off, and they've allowed the mayor to dig the road up and destroy their businesses for the rest of their lives. Anyway, here we go. They're putting a roundabout in there, well, slowly. When it's done, I think it'll be an improvement, there's no doubt about that, but when's it going to be done is the answer. So as you can see, we've come through hell, but very, very slowly but surely we're going to exit it. So stick with us, and we're going to come out by my bank, the Bank of Cyprus, the head office in uptown Paphos. And it's my bank, that's where I bank. Every time I go in there, I ask what my balance is, and the girl or the man in the reception has a quick look and then looks at me like I am a piece of Sherlock Holmes. But there we go. Anyway, I'm going to say thanks for watching, and I'm going to say, if you like what you see, please hit the like and click subscribe, and why not come back for that little bit more of my complete and utter insanity. And if you really like what you see, please consider clicking through to our About page, where you could consider buying myself a coffee, Marika a coffee, yourself a coffee, and whoever else you fancy. So here we are, uptown Paphos. That's the petrol station. This is the building which sells clothes, and just across to there is my bank, the Bank of Cyprus. And there we go, as predicted, our good Barrow number one, there he is, parked up on the side of the road. But hey, if you were to do that, or I was to do that, you'd get a €30 fine, and possibly even your car towed away. There's obviously inequalities in this world. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one.